Hi, I'm Stuart. Welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back. Thanks for viewing my video. In this video, I'm going to do the Can You Survive This Would You Rather Booktube Challenge. I was tagged in videos by Suey at Suey's Book Banter and Pat at Book Chat with Pat 8668. I repeat what they said to properly credit the creators of this tag. This tag was originally created by @Curious-Cat and @ellenmadebookclub. I will try to remember to include both Suey's and Pat's and the videos of @Curious-Cat and @ellenmadebookclub in the description of my video, so you can look at them if you'd like. There are 16 prompts in this tag. Lately I've been thinking about my answers and figuring them out before I did the video, but for this particular one I am going to figure out my answers on the fly. It's what I was doing for a while, and then I was like figuring out the answers. I kind of go back and forth. I won't make someone sit for 10 minutes, say, if I'm using on it for too long. As I watched Suey's and Pat's videos, I did determine my answers to some of these questions. The first question is never read more than one book from the same author. You can't reread either, or read only books from one author of your choice. This for me isn't a hard one at all. It would be never read books. It would be never read more than one book for the same author, and you can't reread either. That is a much preferable choice to me than only read books from one author of your choice. That is severely limiting. There's no author I like that much that I would sacrifice all of my reading just for that one author. The second question is read a book with an unlikable main character or your favorite character dies. It may sound cruel, but I would rather read a book where my favorite character dies. For me to enjoy a book with an unlikable main character, it's got to be done really well. And so I'm going to choose my favorite character dies. The third question is start your library from scratch, but you can't rebuy any of the books that were on your shelves before, or never be allowed to add a new book to your current library. This is a little tougher than the first couple of questions, but I'm going to say start my library from scratch. That would mean that I'd have to get rid of a lot of books, and at one time I wanted to read every one of them, but I enjoy buying books. So I guess I would console myself that if I had to get rid of books from an author I really liked that I wanted to read badly, I would just get another book from that particular author. I like buying books too much to stop buying them. The fourth question is your favorite author never publishes anything new, only publishes bad books from now on. This is fairly easy for me too. I would choose my favorite author doesn't publish anything new. I don't know this sounds kind of bad to say, but I don't know if I care enough specifically about any author that it would disturb me if they couldn't publish a book anymore. I don't think I like any author enough that I'm going to for too long read bad books from them. The fifth question is read only one of your favorite genres or read as widely as you want except in the one favorite genre. It's another real easy one for me because my favorite genre is, last I looked, fantasy, and it was less than 20% of my reading, so I don't have a dominant genre. So yes, it might be tough to lose that one genre, but I'm losing like less than 20% of my reading, so it's a no-brainer to read all the other genres besides my favorite genre. The sixth question is be stranded forever on a deserted island with a full library, or still live in society, but books have disappeared. I hate to say this, but I'm going to choose the stranded on an island with a full library. I'm kind of a loner to some extent. I am quite comfortable with my own company. Now, I'm sure I'd get kind of lonely on the island, but I'd have all the books I'd ever wanted, so I would make that choice to choose all the books I wanted. It would just be preferable to me than to live in a society without books. The 7th question is SFF. Read only 5-star series but they're unfinished, or read only thick standalones with a bunch of info dumping. This is another one that's pretty easy for me. It's to read 5-star series that are never finished. There's many of series I've started I know I'll never get back to, not because I didn't like whatever I read in the series, but that's just how my reading goes. Emotional reader. It doesn't really bother me that I wouldn't finish a series. The 8th question is mystery. Always get book twists spoiled, or they all have open endings / the killer isn't caught. I'm going to choose always get book twists spoiled. I'm not crazy about open endings, and I would prefer the killer gets caught. Admittedly, in mysteries, which this question is headed with, it'd be a little tough knowing who won ahead of time, but even with mysteries with me, it boils down to me liking the characters. I don't really have a great interest in outguessing the detective to try to guess who did whatever the mystery is about. The 9th question is historical romance, a great love story but with historical inaccuracies, or a toxic or mid-love story but great historical world building. A great love story but with historical inaccuracies. The love story is what's important to me. I don't care that much about historical inaccuracies. I don't particularly like toxic or love affairs. The 10th question is read a book that has the best characters / plot writing. You can only choose one, but none of the others. This one is a little bit tough, but I am going to choose a book that has the best characters. That's most important to me. The 11th question is have a friend who loses your books or mistreats them, stains them, breaks the spine. I will say that if I'm lending my books to somebody, which I don't really do, but if I was, and one time the friend did one of these things, I think I would feel better about it if they lost it than if they beat up on it. I mean, either way, either the book's really unacceptable to me or it's gone, but I think I defer to them losing the book. I'd feel a little better about that, but I'm not sure if they get another book from me, even if they lost it. The 12th question is never be allowed to visit a bookstore again or be banned from all the libraries in the world. This is another no-brainer for me. I would choose to be banned from all libraries in the world. I recognize libraries are a great resource, but I like buying books. I'm one of those people who truly believes that book buying and book reading are two different things. I just like buying them. And most books I do buy. Libby's a great resource and I've used it. And I do occasionally buy physical books from the library. We no longer have Hoopla at our library. They just continue it at the end of June. But I thought Hoopla was a good resource too. But I'd rather be banned from the libraries. The 13th question is everyone hates your favorite books or everyone loves the books you hate. This is actually the first one I actually struggled a little bit with, but upon reflection, I'm going to choose everyone loves the books you hate. I wouldn't be happy if everyone hates all my favorite books. But if they love the books I hate, and I don't really hate many books. I talked before about the only book I think I truly hated in my life is Lord of the Flies by William Goldman. But even if we extend this to books I disliked, I would rather people love books that I hate or, like I say, even dislike, as opposed to everyone hates your favorite books. I wouldn't like everyone hating my favorite books. The 14th question is only listen to audiobooks narrated by the worst narrator, that is Mickey Mouse, or only read physical books in terrible lighting. See, this kind of, if you want to look a little deeply into this, think about it, only reading books in terrible lighting could strain your eyes. So, if that's not a consideration, I would choose only reading books in terrible lighting. But if I got to consider eye strain too, I guess I'd still choose to only read books in terrible lighting, but it makes it tough because that could harm my eyes doing that. But I'll still give it a slight edge over listening to audiobooks with a terrible narrator. The 5th question is books from the same series / collection that don't match, or read books printed in a tiny font. This is another easy one for me. I would choose books from the same series collection that don't match. That doesn't actually bother me. Most of my books I donate to the library. So the fact that somebody releases a series of books and they don't all kind of match in your bookshelves isn't an issue for me. But a tiny font is, as I said of one of the previous fonts, tiny font could strain your eyes. But also, I like the sensation of turning pages, and a book written in a tiny font means the book is actually longer than the page count indicates. The 16th question is never post another YouTube video or never watch YouTube ever again. This one is easier than perhaps it should be for me. I do enjoy creating and posting videos, at least most of the time, but I would not want to not be able to watch other YouTube videos. So if this was a choice, I'm going to stop posting videos. Not a very hard decision. I would not want to go without watching other people's videos. The next thing is to tag people. First, I'm tagging anyone who's watching this video, whether you do a video of your own with one or more of the questions, or answer one or more questions in my comment, or answer one or more of the questions in my comments. But I also am going to tag a group of people. I'm tagging Nix, Smitty, Kayla V, Melena, Maeve, Nick, Heather, Brian, Fred, Flossie, Justin, Felix, Hannah, Jen, Daniela, Cliff, Elaine, Nigel, Joe and Mary, Philip, Kelly, Kevin, and Lecton. Just if it's something you want to do, if you'd be interested in doing, please do so. I would be interested in your answers, whether in a video or whether in my comments. I want to thank Suey and Pat for tagging me. I want to thank the creators of this tag, at Curious-Cat and at ellenmadebookclub, for creating this tag. I forgot to mention, I also watched a video by Renee at Beyond Books where she did this tag. I will try to remember to include the links to all these people that I mentioned in the description of my video, so you can look at their videos if you'd like. I hope you're having a wonderful reading week. I hope you're having a wonderful week in general. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, please subscribe, please hit the bell to get notified when I upload future videos.